Growing up, I learned early that love in my family was conditional. My father, Richard, was a man who valued success more than people. He didn't care who you were, only what you achieved. My older brother, Daniel, was everything he admired: confident, charming, and ruthless. He could lie to your face and still get praised for being smart. I, on the other hand, was the quiet one, the one who stayed late studying, who never talked back, who tried to make my parents proud the right way. But in our house, integrity was invisible. Arrogance got applause. The engagement, I met Emily in college. She was warm, grounded, and everything my world wasn't. For the first time in my life, I felt seen. We got engaged right after graduation. My mother was happy. My father barely looked up from his newspaper. He simply said, "You should be careful marrying below your potential." I didn't care what he thought. Emily and I started planning a small wedding, just friends, family, and peace. That peace didn't last long. Daniel started hanging around more, helping with the plans, offering to handle the venue. He'd flirt with her in front of me, subtle at first, then bolder. When I confronted him, he laughed. "Relax, little brother. It's just banter. She's loyal, right?" It was the smirk that said everything he didn't need to say. The betrayal, 2 weeks before our wedding, Emily stopped answering my calls. Then one night, my father called me, not to check on me, but to inform me. "Don't embarrass yourself," he said. "She's with Daniel now. Move on, just like that. No sympathy, no anger, just efficiency, like he was reporting a business deal." I didn't sleep for days. I packed my things, left home, and started over with nothing but a backpack, a degree, and a bitterness that burned like fuel. The climb for the next 6 years, I didn't look back. I worked every job I could: assistant, broker, researcher. Eventually, I landed a position at a mid-size real estate law firm. That job changed my life. I learned everything: contracts, zoning, asset protection, corporate law. By the time I was 30, I wasn't just an employee. I was a partner. By 32, I owned my own firm. By 35, I'd built a small empire of my own, clean, legal, and entirely mine. And I never once took a cent from my father. The invitation. Then one morning, an envelope arrived at my office. Expensive paper, gold lettering. It was an invitation. Daniel and Emily, wedding celebration. I almost laughed. The man who betrayed me was marrying the woman who cheated on me, and they were calling it love. At the bottom, in my father's handwriting, was a note. "You will attend. I've paid for your education and raised you. It's the least you can do." He still thought I was the same powerless son who needed him. He didn't even know I'd already repaid every cent he'd ever given me, with interest, to the university directly years ago. So, I decided to give him something he'd understand. A transaction. The wedding. The venue was extravagant. Marble floors, chandeliers, and a fountain shaped like 2 swans. Money everywhere, but no soul. When I walked in, the room went silent. Emily looked away. Daniel smirked. My father nodded, pretending he was proud, as if I were there to play along. I took my seat in the second row, between people who whispered more than they spoke. When the vows ended and applause began, I stood up quietly, walked to my father's table, and handed him a white envelope. He frowned. "What's this?" I leaned down and said, "Payment. For everything you think I owe you." Then I walked out. The call that night, around midnight, my phone rang. It was him. "What the hell is this, Matthew?" "A check," I said. "For every cent you ever spent on me, tuition, rent, food, I calculated interest. Consider us even." He didn't speak for a few seconds. Then his voice cracked for the first time in my life. "You think this makes you a man?" I said, "No, Dad. Walking away from your control did," and I hung up. The fallout weeks later, I heard through relatives what happened next. My father didn't cash the check. He kept it, framed it. Not as a trophy, as a wound. They said he'd sit in his office staring at it sometimes, silent. Daniel and Emily didn't last. Turns out betrayal doesn't build a foundation. Within a year, they divorced. Money problems, infidelity, the same poison that started it. As for me, I moved to a new city, opened a second branch of my firm, and started a new life. No drama, no revenge, just peace. Years later, 5 years later, I got a letter from my mother. It was short. Your father isn't well. He still keeps your check on his desk. He never stopped talking about that day. He said you taught him something money couldn't buy. I never replied. I didn't go to his funeral either. But sometimes when I sit in my office, surrounded by the life I built from scratch, I think about that envelope. It wasn't revenge. It was closure, written in ink, sealed with silence, and paid in full. Lesson: some debts aren't about money. They're about respect. And once you pay them, truly pay them, you owe nothing else to anyone ever again. Thanks for watching Pilas. Like and subscribe.